Welcome or welcome back. Today I have very disturbing news for you. I know you've seen the title, so you probably already know slightly what's going on, but I'm going to preface things anyways. So, a lot of people know Jeffrey Dahmer, or his alias, the Milwaukee Cannibal, that he was later called. He was a serial killer that killed 17 people from the span 1978 to 1991, but was suspected of more than 20 murders. However, the evidence was only there for 17 of them. He would later be bludgeoned to death in jail in November 28th, 1994, only 3 years later after his crime spree. He was a serial killer the likes of that the world hasn't seen again, and he's honestly kind of a real douchebag. But recently, the Netflix documentary that came out a while ago has turned a new page for him, shown a new light of him. And the result of this is that many girls have been simping over him. Quite literally simping, like to the heavens, like God couldn't compete with Jeffrey Dahmer right now. And that's very disturbing, So I want to take you on a journey with me to a world of Dahmer simps. I'm just gonna preview a couple of them. I know it may be hard to watch. And I'm not your dad, I won't tell you who to like or not like. But I will make fun of you for it if you like a serial killer, That's just kind of the basic rules of society. You just kind of don't, Anyways, as a disclaimer, we aren't making fun of them. We're just laughing at their L takes, Because that's an objectively bad opinion to like Jeffrey Dahmer. So I just wanted to first start off with this little TikTok right here. I felt bad for Jeffrey Dahmer. This isn't any of the simp stuff yet, but this is where this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is what leads you down a rabbit hole and the descent into insanity, I suppose. Anyways, let's get right into it.
Serious question. Is there something wrong with me because I high-key felt bad for Jeffrey Dahmer?
Yes, very likely so. A cute smile isn't gonna save you there.
Okay, so first things first, that whole documentary was like 12 out of 10. Like, that shit was fire.
Okay, here's the first problem is like I've seen other people mention this before, but I don't think they really do it justice, I guess. When she says it's fire, it's like I understand like cinematography, stuff like that, genius, great, super good. I haven't watched the show, but I assume it's pretty good. I've seen some clips, seen some 10-minute videos. It's pretty good, right? But you don't call something like that fire, When you call something fire, you're like the characters or everything about the show. You know what I mean? Like something like that would be a more concrete fire. And in this scenario, it doesn't work. But I guess if she's romanticizing Jeffrey Dahmer or defending him, then I guess it would work because she thinks that's a good character, I guess. I'm not really
Coming
sure.
from someone that likes like true crime shit, right? Now, throughout the whole thing, I was like, damn, like this shit is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, there's 17 people dead, yeah.
Like, that's so sad. All like the murders and everything that like he did, the way he did it. Like, I was like, damn, like this shit is mad scary. Like, that's so sad. But I was like fine throughout the whole thing because like I watch a lot of true crime, whatever. But bitch, when they killed Jeffrey.
Right here. It's just like
I was like literally teary.
it's like there's a lot of explanations, right? There's a lot of explanations for this. One, I'll give you the layman explanation first. Why does she feel bad for Jeffrey Dahmer? Because she's a simp. That's the first explanation you could go with. She's a filthy simp and she has, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. She just can't withstand that beauty from Jeffrey Dahmer. Sorry, it took a long time to say. It's just kind of hard. Anyways, There's a second explanation that I think could be possible, and it's throughout the course of the show, Netflix does try to put a different appeal on Jeffrey Dahmer. Basically, you get to see his entire life that leads up to him becoming a crazy psychopath. And there's scenes where he says, like, I know I'm crazy, I know I'm sick, but it's never like I got to choose any of this. And at the end of the day, it's like he still did the killings. He did it knowing exactly what he was doing. And the emotional neglect and abuse shouldn't factor into that. What leads most serial killers to becoming serial killers is a combination of genetics and circumstances. Well, I'm going to explain the genetics. When I'm saying genetics, a lot of it is involved in like people's brains, right? There's some times where neurological links are missing where they should be there. This was very well explained in a video, and this specific video was talking about pedophiles, though. A lot of times, pedophiles will have a missing neurological link that will make them stop, progressing in thought and still be attracted to people who they were, attracted to when they were very young. And the same could be applied to a psychopath, is that if you neurologically stop advancing at a certain point and that it doesn't link together, a lot of times people can lose senses of emotion and guilt, regret, stuff like that, and it really makes someone a serial killer. And that, on top of bad home circumstances, bad influences upon their life, can eventually lead someone to becoming a serial killer. Now, while I've said all this, the series does create a sense of empathy for him because you've seen all this in his life. But on the same note, I feel like it should also not condone things the way it does. It romanticizes things far too much. So much so that the family of the victims affected by Jeffrey Dahmer's actions came out and spoke against it, multiple families, in fact. Because the documentary, if you think about it from that perspective, is highly disturbing, right? And he's a terrible person and very much so deserved the death that he was given. In fact, I would say he deserves a much harsher death. But I'm a little radical on that myself. But I do think that this is exactly one of the two reasons. One, because they're either a dirty simp, or two, everything I just explained, why people could say that they felt bad for Jeffrey Dahmer. But on the same note, I think that you just shouldn't feel bad for someone like this because they have caused more pain than you will ever imagine, you know?
God, I got teary-eyed. I'm looking at my boyfriend oh my God, please don't tell
Jesus, how does she have a boyfriend?
me they kill him, don't tell me.
In this moment, her boyfriend was looking at her just like this.
He died. I'm looking at myself bitch, what? What? First,
yeah, bitch, what is exactly what I'm thinking when I'm watching this entire TikTok. I mean, thank you for
some reason, everything that he did that was absolutely horrifying, just out the window. I'm literally looking to my side and I'm please tell me they don't kill him.
You see, here's where I start thinking she's just a dirty simp. Because, everything bad he did, she kept in her mind and then just threw it out the window, indicating that she knew he was a bad guy, and then just I don't know.
I felt so fucking bad. I actually felt bad. It was ridiculous. I'm thinking to myself, you should not be feeling bad for this man. But I deadass didn't want him to die. I was kind of pissed.
Yeah, I mean that. Simping does that to a person. After this, I'm going to show you some of the beautiful thirst traps that have been curated specifically from this chick. So let's just start on this little excursion here. Let's go right into it, boys. Because this one's a stinker. So, hold on, I'm going to fast forward a little bit here because this is a terrible one. Oh, yeah, right here.
Everything was so sweet until you tried to kill me.
Right here. Here's where it starts. Just just imagine a 10-minute video of romanticizing relationships, and romanticizing Jeffrey Dahmer, and you have the entire compilation. I'm not going to watch through this entire compilation, right? I don't want to lose that many brain cells, but I want you to see how exactly like people are trying to romanticize it and successfully doing so, because they've turned something that was originally supposed to be a serious documentary, I guess, into something that it's not. And it's like the audacity that Netflix has to do this without even asking permission from the families of the victims is downright horrifying. Like, it is terrible that they're doing something like this without consulting anyone, right? Which I guess is kind of their right for a documentary, but because of all these edits and stuff happening, like, if I were the victim or the victim's families, like, this would be the last thing I'd want to see, right? Anyways, that's enough me ranting about it. I just, like, God, the amount of people who are simping and romanticizing Jeffrey Dahmer because of the new Netflix thing is just quite scary. And I don't think this is something that should be romanticized. And I think keeping it at that would be very fine, you know what I mean? Anyway, well, I hope you enjoyed this little video. I got a big project coming tomorrow. That's why this video is kind of just like a less editing quality and more thrown together, is because I'm working on something bigger tomorrow. And I just saw this and wanted to talk about it, had a little rant about it, you know, just a good hearty conversation about it, you know. And again, it is their right to simp and romanticize whoever they want to. But on the same note, just don't make it a serial killer. The backlash you will receive from everyone, it will always be there. Also, like, people should stop idolizing people like this, like school shooters, serial killers, and whatnot. Like, if we just called them scumbag number 1, scumbag number 2, that would really solve all our problems. Would Jeffrey Dahmer be being idolized and everything if there wasn't like all this about him, right? I think that should really be our solution. Just call everyone a scumbag like they really are, right? And I think that's a great solution. I think it's super disgusting what they're doing, and I think it's nothing short of insulting to the families of the victims, and for them to be mentioned by name in the series, each victim, it kind of immortalizes Jeffrey Dahmer's actions into and impresses it into this society as more of a positive thing than a bad thing, which I think is a terrible view. And my personal take is kind of like that if you romanticize things so much, eventually someone will see that Jeffrey Dahmer is getting romanticized so much and then try to do the exact same thing Jeffrey Dahmer did, right? Just my 2 cents on it. Maybe I'm wrong, you know? Maybe that is true. Anyways, this is all my personal take. Nothing is serious here. Well, it is all super serious, but like, you don't have to believe the same things as I believe. It's whatever, you know? I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, if you did enjoy this little charade and rant, then sub, like for more shit like this, like updates and stuff, and thanks for 50 subs, nearly at 60, halfway to the road to 100 subs, and love you guys, and bye.